Woo! On God.
Flex, flex.
Cameras on, the cameras on, the cameras
Everybody just looks at it.
Everybody collects themselves really quick and then you turn your head.
Yeah, here in the floor is ours. Like,
We don't keep shit real.
at all. I might just leave this in my, it's my statement. And in case it does, we'd like to welcome everybody back to The Floor is Ours. Me and my brothers have been going through it for a little bit. Technical difficulties like a mug. I'm trying not gonna curse on that part, but we're here. We made it happen. My brothers are consistent and they are committed, as I am, and we still made it pretty productive. It's what, like 10 something now?
Yeah.
So, but we made it happen. So, welcome back. For those that seen the first video, we appreciate y'all. For those that are just always coming back and showing love, thank you. And for those that are just watching shorts and just tapping in even for maybe 5 minutes or so, thank you. We appreciate y'all. Again, Xavier. Boom.
What's going on, everybody?
You did the lookup.
What's going on? But so I'm Lamar. Some people call me Robert. Just depends on what stage of life you met me in. Robert Lamar. Either way is cool. Definitely, I'm grateful for everybody that does tune in continuously. Whether you are a random that's transitioning into becoming a person that likes to be a part of this podcast, we greatly appreciate you. Whether you're day 1, day 60, we definitely appreciate you for showing up.
He's putting up close to.
I'm Braille, and I need to stop talking after Lamar in introduction because he normally encompasses everything, and I don't have a whole lot to begin with. So it's your boy. Glad y'all here.
The first one. That is better than the first one. So, man, here we are in December, right? Closing up to the end of the year. For new people to the video, we always used to say periodically in the episodes that if you had any New Year's resolutions, for our people that always were here, it's that time. It's that time to get set for some new ones if you are going according to just January being your new set goal. We here like to set goals just for life, period. So there's no one set month, 2 set month. Be better every day. You know what I'm saying? Our 1%, like we always say, that we're aiming for as well. So, but for those that do like the New Year's resolutions, you got less than 30 days. Hope you did it. Go over your stuff for the year again. See what thing you did accomplish. See what you didn't accomplish. Go over the plan why you didn't accomplish it. I went over mine actually recently, and I don't have to put y'all on the spot or anything like that. And for the most part, I did pretty well, actually, pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. And I think we even said it before too. Like you start off the year wanting to do something, and then like your goals or what you want to do changes through the middle of the year. So I stuck with some good ones. Few that I did not complete, but did start, and that's not total failure to me, but it is like, okay, just try to focus a little more here when you can, if you can, time permitting, and what I prioritize is a big thing too. So, New Year is coming up. Hope everybody makes it. Shout out to, the ones that didn't get to make it and the people that we lost, and just a moment of silence for them real quick. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to love. Keep the love going. Keep the energy going.
One thing I would like to note, though, for anyone that is still in the process of figuring out what they want, or if you're actively in the pursuit of whatever it is that you want, don't let the end of the year steal your aggression. Stay aggressive. Whatever you're trying to do, stay in attack mode. You should be relentless in the pursuit of whatever it is that's going to change your life, your family's life. I was reflecting on myself with like the goals I set. I don't really like to use the term New Year's resolution because there's goals that are going to come in all throughout the month, all throughout the day. So there's always things that you can draw inspiration from, people that you can have conversations with. Please do not use the end of the month as an excuse to not do what you're supposed to be doing. And please don't use the beginning of the month, the beginning of the year to be the primary reason that you set goals for yourself, because if you're a father, if you're a mother, if you have a title that holds weight with somebody, you should consistently be in the pursuit of growth. And if you don't know where to go, you should have a conversation with somebody that can lead you in that direction, and don't try to do everything on your own, because there is a community of people that will be willing to assist you. TED Talk over.
What do you feel about your, if you had and like I said, I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but how do you feel like your year went?
Overall, my year went good. I honestly couldn't tell you what my goals were at the beginning of the year anymore, because I know they've shifted a lot, because life happens, situations happen, got to adjust your focuses, so on and so forth. So I don't know necessarily if I hit the goals I originally wanted to hit this year, but I've hit the goals that I needed to hit to keep progressing this year. So I think I do believe where I'm at right now and what I'm continuing to do right now, next year is going to be more structured. And if I say anything, that's probably going to be my goal, is to maintain that progress, but with a little more structure than what I had this year.
Yeah. I just started saying that. I was thinking, like how it does change. I was thinking, like, did I have a big standout moment this year? And
Yeah.
you said,
I can think of a few for myself. I can't tell you.
It's like, damn, you been sneaking in and spying on me, sir?
You that excited for me? That's my brother.
Oh yeah, I got the camera.
All jokes aside, I think it's fair to say that everybody at this table, if someone has individual success, it's almost like you can live vicariously through them. Like, now you still want to go out there and get it for yourself, but I can say that I feel comfortable with saying if Julian wins or if Xavier wins, I celebrate your win the same way I celebrate mine. And you can ask X, if you call me and tell me something, I'm always 10. So it ain't just for me. So I share that energy with everybody, because I draw inspiration from the people that I'm around. And I believe that if you can do it, and if you can do it, it makes it possible. Like, thank you for being the person on the forefront showing me that certain things are possible. Because while I think I can speak for all of us, like, we didn't grow up rich. So when you see people that are around you, and I'm a huge believer, and I don't really care about the race of the person that I'm around that's being successful, because I look at my white brothers the same way I look at my brown brothers. But like, seeing people that have similar backgrounds as you and you see them win, like, look at where we're at, bro. Like, if I had to say a highlight moment for myself, was I got on a plane this year, bro. Like, a couple of times. Like, I would have never guessed that before. Like, and all credit goes to God and him putting you in putting me and the people I love in positions to be successful, because it's not just you. It's always about a team collective. When your team wins, you can be a part of a good win, and that is sincerely a blessing. So that's mine.
Can I say, and two, for that, like, a big shout out to celebrating the wins. Like, one for us, I agree, because when Lamar tells me, or you tell me, like, that you've done something and it's a win, I do feel like, oh, yeah, that's one for this coach. That's one for the team. Like, you get the scoreboard, just like, yeah, that's for the home team. But celebrating even like the small ones, because people that, like, I travel a lot, but I understand the point that I used to travel a lot, being in the military, but like, I understand, like, not being on a plane at one point and then getting on a plane. And then I also understand there's a large amount or percentage of people that do not get on planes and do not travel. And that's even like domestic travel at that. There's somebody that stayed in their state, in their county forever, and they are 100% comfortable, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Because when I tell that story to my grandmother and stuff, like, they had never done that before.
Yeah.
And she's 80 years plus. Like, she had never been in the position of where she's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to fly here. It was always drive 10 hours to get to New York, or let's bus it, or let's train. And like, having the blessing of opportunities around. I think that's the thing I'm most grateful for, is opportunities. And if I had to use any momentum to carry it over into next year, like, everything this year was about efficiency, determination, and staying locked in. I want to quadruple that the next year. And with the team we have around us, there's no way that doesn't happen.
I think a big, if I was thinking like personal, friends group, family wise, I still have to wait to say one, but you already know my major win, so I still wait to say one for now. But as my collective of friends, I think for this year, and the amount of knowledge and growth that we wanted to do, like collectively, for one, the people that don't know, and shout out to the book club, all the people in the book club. So you already know this one's coming out to y'all. We do have a book club, and we finished 2 books, currently on our third now, and it was that breakdown of like conversation, perspective, growth, and then like even like the challenging that came from that, and like to have a group that's still wanting to learn. And now we gained 2 other people, but there's 2 others that still want to join. I think is to me empowering, like the circle that I have around me that want to have like the same goal of growth as me, mentally, physically, career wise. It's big. So I think that was a big standout to how the people that are around me are really for me and support the things that I want to do, and I'm also supporting them in the same sense. My circle empowers me, and I want to empower like my circle the same way. So a big standout was it's a small win, but it's a win that like we started this thing, we kept it going. People are it's gaining traction, and we've completed 2 objectives after starting doing it. And like that commitment to me also just carries over into like my life sometimes too. Like if I could do that here, I could do that same type of energy, same type of commitment somewhere else as well. Like I'm showing that I can do it. I'm fitting it in where before we didn't think maybe we had that much time to fit it in. Now I'm at a point that's like I'm reading a book club with a team. I'm reading my own book for self-growth, but I'm also implementing the things that I'm learning and putting into practice. And now I can come to y'all with the same book and we'd be like, oh, yo, like after the first 2 books we read, well, mainly more so right now, like the last one, the Atomic Habits, is like, yo, 1% better. Do this and that. I've seen Lamar put posts, and I know what that means because I was part of that journey with him. And I'm like, oh yeah, my boy's on it. Because many people read books and they're like, yeah, I completed that, but there's no implementation, there's no practice of what you actually learn. So like, I don't like somebody to be like, yeah, I read the book. Okay, what'd you get from it?
Mm-hmm.
I read it.
I think that's one of the most important things about this year is what you feed your mind, what you feed your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I've been feeding my body is not a representation of the other things because, damn, we got to get back into the gym swing. But like being like prioritizing the conversations that you have, not just with people, because you can fake it with a lot of different people. You can become a character, but the conversations that you have when you're by yourself, like how you reflect, how you receive, like this year was all about growth, whether it was like spiritual growth, financial growth, just figuring out better ways to get different results and continuing, like you were saying, is being consistent and being relentless with whatever it is that you're fighting for.
Right.
I don't got anything to add to that.
Yeah, I see back up to the mic. Like, oh, they.
Yeah, like yeah, I went full circle on that.
We get a little extra. That wasn't planned, but
No,
it popped out and it's gonna pop out how it pops.
It's my favorite year of life I've had in my adult life.
Man, look, it's dope, and to be around the table with like some of the people that I've been for 10+ years that is a blessing for real. As we switch gears, we're gonna go ahead and get into our topic. But before we do that, it's cult time. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's time for the 3 breaths. So we'll get into our collective again as always. So ready? In on me. Out. In. Out. And in. And out. If you weren't before, you are now fully in tune with the floor is ours. Let us progress, move towards better. But our thinking caps on. They always should be on anyway if you listen to us. So keep thinking, keep progressing. This week, shout out to the people that actually voted on the poll that we put out. But work-life balance. Work-life balance. So the question for this week is there such a thing as work-life balance? So I'll ask in the comment section for anybody that does listen, please pause here or any moment that you like, but put, is there such thing as work-life balance? And what you think, yes or no? But I'll start with my brothers for now. And you can.
I'm like in a yes and no pocket with this one. Honestly, like I think it's easy for me to gravitate toward no, because I think most of us kind of think of balance as like even, fair, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't really think that's possible, I guess, with the work-life balance. But more so when you consider like other people in your life aspect, like sometimes when it's just you, I guess I could see around where you can make it to where you feel like it's balanced, but I recognize balance as like a constant motion, like that person on a tightrope, they're not completely still, just standing motionless. They're constantly like making slight adjustments with their positioning, with their legs, with their arm or whatever to keep themselves in balance. And the goal is to make it look as effortless as possible. So they might look pretty close to it, but the closer you look at them, there's that little shake, that little wobble. And that's how I look at life. Like the work-life balance, you're constantly like, there's times where you got to put more effort to make sure work flows the way it's supposed to flow.
Right.
Maybe something extra happened. Maybe somebody wasn't there. Maybe there's a project that got to get done by a certain time, blah, blah, blah. In those situations, to maintain a healthy work environment, you've got to make sure you achieve the task. Sometimes that might mean that you're not with the family as much this week, or sometimes that might mean that your usual bar visit on Fridays don't happen because you got to stay over, blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, that's a part of the balance. So like, if I were to say yes, it's just that it's not everything feels the same every time. Sometimes work is going to take a little more. Sometimes life is going to take a little more. And sometimes you're going to recognize that you put too much over here. The scale's leaning too far. And you have to consciously bring that balance back by doing something else over here, so on and so forth. So I guess I'll say yeah. I'll say yeah from that angle, because that's how I naturally look at it. So I'd say yeah. It's not a clean, like everything is taken care of the same way.
Yeah. You want to go? Want me to?
No, I'll go. So I think I'm torn between that too. The yes and no, but mine is more so it just depends on what stage of life you're in and also what you want to achieve. If your job title doesn't require as much effort from you, then it's a lot easier to be balanced at home. Like, meaning that you're like at a 60-40 or somewhere in there. But like, if you want to be really successful, you're going to have to invest your time somewhere. That's the biggest thing that I think about when I hear about like work-life balances. I think about time. So it's pulling you left and right. Family needs time. Your career needs time. If you want to be like super successful and you want to achieve a certain amount of things, that does require for you to sometimes pull that time from your family, or sometimes you got to pull that time from yourself. We were just talking earlier about, are you willing to remove some of the hobbies that you have from your life in order to excel in whatever career that you're trying to pursue? So I feel, yes, you can have balance, just depending on what you want from your career. If you want to be the best of the best, when I listen to like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, I'm just using sports analogies, but when you want to be the best at something, it requires a tremendous amount of time. Now, I do think as you climb the tier of success, well, levels of success, once you're like maybe late 40s, early 50s, and you've given everything you're supposed to give to your career, it allows you to have more time to balance things out. So initially, unless, again, if you want to pursue things that doesn't require a tremendous amount of time at work, to where you just work from 8 to 5 and then you go home and then the rest of the time is given to your family. Yeah, you may be a little bit more balanced there, but if you work in a place to where you never physically remove yourself, or if you just really care about whatever it is that you're doing with your career, you're going to have to put a tremendous amount of time into it. And once you put that work in, there's always going to be a return on the investment that you put into it. So then it gives you that leisure time.
I like it. Good answers. I think for me personally, and again, this is just my take as well. I was also between that yes and no, and I did feel like it also depends on the individual and what type of mindset you have and what you consider balance for your life, for one. And I was telling Jay and told you as well, because we've had off screen conversations. It's like I look at balance not so much as also being 50-50 equal. It's just making sure one side doesn't overweigh or overtake the other side or opposing side. So like if you had a scale, right, and each decision is weight between that scale. Say it's work, life, at home, family, whatever it is, right? You put more into work, you put more into work, you put more into work. You're sitting here, right? And initially, at some point in time, depending on your mindset, depending on where you are in life, if you're single, you can more so afford this, right? If it's family, kind of like, with what we have going on, it's like similar. This over here is calling. You've put too much here. You're gonna, as a man, as either lead a family or just the family person, no matter male or female, you're gonna want to give more time to your family. You might be doing this for this, and then one moment at a time is I need to start making decisions to even out, be back here at least. Not so much where I get one side that fails. So to me, that balance is like just making sure neither or takes either one side and just completely takes over, because then there's no such thing as balance anymore. There, it's not 50-50 to me. I think
I
ultimately,
agree with that.
yeah, I don't think I can agree, because there's too many aspects for me that I consider, for balance in itself. Other things at work are going to take priority sometimes. For me to be give my family a home, give my family a better life, but my family is overall what's going to be there, whether work is there or not. You know what I'm saying? And that is my forever. That is the reason for me, like I said, for me working at times to make it better. Now, like I said, if I was single, that work is going to be more for me. I can sacrifice that, like I said before. So it's a lot of what you put into balance, how you define balance for yourself, and like the mindset that you're in. For some entrepreneurs, like some of the books that we read, it's this, it's work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's work.
Because that's what I was thinking about with like some of the authors that we've read, or just like I like what you were saying about like the teetering of it. It's almost like looking at school and like the law of averages. Like every test you take, you may not always get a perfect score. Like every day is not always going to look like an even 50-50 split. I think the biggest thing as you're trying to weigh those things out is like prioritizing making those moments like stick out.
Yeah.
So if you have a family, if you have children, yeah, some days career may be here and it may not always be as balanced, but the moments that you do have with your family, you have to make those moments pop. You got to give them something to remember. That way it holds them over for those times to where dad may have to miss a kickball game, or I may have to miss a school event. That's what I'm gearing my life towards, to where like I may not be able to catch every little small moment, but the moments that we do get to share together are going to be huge moments that you don't forget. And then you still have me for those in between times too, to where you still have access, but it just won't be the same.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be certain things. And I think as your kids get older, they start to realize that as well. Like when mommy and daddy didn't always have time to do some of these smaller things, but they always prioritize making sure that we had dinner together, making sure like the beginning of your day, I set the tone for your day. Hey, I love you, son. I want you to know that you're smart, giving you those words of encouragement. I think those are the things that stick out, because sometimes when people talk about work-life balance, they have a lot of time at home, but they're not really doing anything with it besides sitting on the couch and watching TV. And it's like, oh, hey, I'm here with my family. Your son's in one room, the other kids are in the other room, where you have at least 6 to 8 hours to where you're home, but you're not doing anything with it. So my thing is, yeah, I may have to cut into some of my family time, but I for damn sure will make sure whenever we do have that time together, my phone's down. I'm prioritizing the conversations. I'm saying little things to you throughout the day. I'm making you feel special. You never feel like you're in a fight against my job, because we're a team. And I think if you preach about team, you understand somebody has to get a rebound. Somebody has to play defense. Somebody's going to score. Like, who are you in this role? And I think when you have clear defined roles in your household, even if you're married with children or single with children, if everybody knows the role they have to play and they buy into it, it makes it so much easier to where you don't have to worry if it's an 80-20 one day or it's a 60-40 the other day.
Question. I think we generally agree that your intent, your overall goal and perspective on what you're dealing with plays a major part in how work-life balance works for you. I think your emotional fortitude plays a big part in that too. Like, how much are you capable of dealing with? You know, how much are you able to accept understanding the greater good and blah, 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 blah. How much do you need to cater to your emotions in order to keep yourself motivated to do what you're doing on the other end? My question with that, because both of those weigh majorly in you making that individual decision on how you manage work-life balance. How much does the emotional fortitude of those in your life play a part in that consideration?
Good question.
Yeah, this is I think when we were talking off camera too, something I thought about was to fall into it. And I'll just get into the answer too. Is does does your belief of work life balance also agree with your partner if you do have one? Do they is their answer the same as yours? Like if I said yes, would my wife say yes? If you guys haven't had this conversation with your spouse. So for all those that voted, yes, there is, or no, there isn't. There's another conversation. But I think for me, that emotional it plays a lot. It plays a lot because then again, that decision's coming here. You know, you kind of I have to balance it out. But what Lamar was saying also is like when you are home and you are giving the family that time, that should be the time that you're building up more on that emotional fortitude to speak about these things with your family. Let them know like what's going on. There needs to be constant conversations. Like I'm not trying to be away, but when I am away, it's building up for these moments that we can have. Like I want better for all of us, and that's I think ultimately everybody's goal. A good family person or family lead. I do think it does factor in and conflict when somebody just wants presence, because I do think like when what you said, Lamar, is somebody may be home 6 hours a day and not doing anything, right? And yet themselves are not doing anything, but to that two kids and to that mom, they may not be speaking, but you're available. And I think sometimes like just that availability is what some people want. It gives them that safety net and things. So now to say like that's still outside of what you as the individual is doing, but to that emotional fortitude, hey, he's here though. He's here. He's not at work. He's here. I see it. I can go in there. You're available. You're there for me. So, but to that point, you're available. Go over there, build up that build up the emotional fortitude, right? Build it up, build it up, build it up. Like give to the family so they understand more. So when you are gone, you're going to build better for later on. You're not going because you don't want to be with them. I do think your partner, your spouse, whoever, the family's emotional fortitude needs to be, if not like in the front of your decision making, then, and I think it is though too. That's another thing. That's another factor and aspect to consider. I know you wanted to speak, so go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I agree that you should prioritize explaining things to your whether it's your children, whether it's your wife. I think that I'll use myself as an example. I love what I do. I spend a lot of time doing it. But with what I do, it's never just about me. So the children understand that if I'm working, I'm not just working for me, I'm working for the bigger picture. And when and I say this the same way I do with you guys, like if I win, you win. So they feel that too. So when they walk in the room, they ask me questions about what's going on. They ask questions about sales because they're emotionally connected to the win. So they understand that with the winning comes an investment in time and effort. And I can show them little things. And I think the easiest thing, well, I can say easy, but it makes it less challenging when people can see results. People love cheering on winners. Now, if you're asking for this huge commitment from them and you're taking away time and then you have absolutely nothing to show for it, then you have a different conversation. But whether it's with staying consistent with like weight loss, or that's always my favorite thing to say to people. It's like people are a lot more willing to commit when they can see that 5 pounds drop off, or if they get that first compliment from somebody.
Right.
So when I say to the boys like, hey, I have to make this investment, they're like, Dad, did you get X, Y, and Z? And they're happy about it. So yes, when I do see that they're going through little pockets to where they need a little bit more attention, I can balance it out. Like I can unplug for a second. We can have a conversation. Let's prioritize your feelings. How are you feeling about this? How can we do this differently? Because I mean, ultimately, in my household, everything is ran off of communication and efficiency because we don't have a whole lot of time. So we got to make the best of the time that we have.
Right.
So there's absolutely no room for error. Like if you want to be able to have fun tonight, if I want to be able to take y'all out tonight, I need to hit X, Y, and Z. Because if we don't hit X, Y, and Z, and I say we because that includes us all, like we don't do certain stuff. So, and it's not to punish you because it's a punishment for me too, because I want to go out and do these things. I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. I like seeing that mouse. Like that's what y'all want to do. Y'all want to play arcade games. All of that is facilitated through us making sure that from A to Z, consistency every single day. I need y'all to be efficient. I need you to not take an extra 5 minutes brushing your teeth. I need you to make sure that you grab your book bag in the morning so I ain't got to spin the block back again. And if you operate like that machine, we can have fun all the time. And when we do have that 2 to 3 hour pocket, when you need me to be emotionally available for you, I ain't got to question it because we run smooth.
What do you think?
I think, I mean, I'm right there with y'all. Like, what I'm getting overall is your emotional fortitude still takes priority ultimately, and everybody else's is secondary, but not far off. Like, for example, like I feel like with a wife, it's different because you have committed a certain aspect of your life, like for life. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, with that being your partner, like the communication is paramount for that exact reason, because like there's one scale where we can say work-life balance, I need to do this much over here to achieve this goal to get us here and blah, blah, blah. But on the other end of that, that person is still impacted, however they are impacted.
Right.
And that relationship is, you know, when you sign up for marriage, that's really above everything else. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to some degree, even above the job. You know, obviously that's a little more complicated because, you know, if you don't got nothing else lined up, then if your situation is like either the job or us, it's kind of like, what do we do?
I'm taking the job, baby.
Like that's
I'm taking the job.
how we gonna live, you know what I'm saying?
To be broke.
But I do feel like it's easier. I do feel like it's easier